Well, I think we've definitely seen the exemplary play of quite a few players thus far. And though it's still pretty early in the season, I think we got a good idea as to who might be in the running for MVP.
Here are the contenders for Most Valuable Player.
We're past the quarter-way mark of the 2021 NFL regular season. By now, we have a good idea where each team is headed and which players will be instrumental in their team's success. As we head into the next 3 quarters of the season, now's a good time to forecast every NFL team's 2021 season MVP. Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray. This one is a no-brainer. Murray should already be viewed as a prime candidate to win the league MVP. He was awesome for most of 2020, but he's taken his game to another level with the additions of Rondale Moore and AJ Green. Arizona is stacked with talent on both sides of the ball, but the direction of this club totally hinges on the play of Murray. Atlanta Falcons, Cordarrelle Patterson. Kyle Pitts and Calvin Ridley didn't start out as hot as expected, but free agent pickup Cordarrelle Patterson has added another dimension to Arthur Smith's offense. Patterson is doing it all for the Falcons, as an explosive special teams returner, a dynamic runner, and a playmaking receiver. What a bargain of a find by GM Terry Fontenot. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. We saw how sluggish the Ravens' offense was without Lamar Jackson in the one game he missed last year. This team is well built across the board, but they simply do not contend without the 2019 league MVP. Not only is he the game's most electrifying dual-threat QB, but Jackson has taken his passing game to another level in 2021. He, like Murray, is also among the top candidates for league MVP this year. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. Allen had an MVP caliber season in 2020, but so did Aaron Rodgers, which prevented the Bills QB from winning the award. At any rate, Allen has already shown that 2020 was no fluke. He remains one of the game's most prolific all-around passers, and he has the Bills in Super Bowl contention once again. Carolina Panthers, Haason Reddick. A tough one here because Carolina has gotten excellent production from a number of players, but Reddick, who was signed to a 1-year deal in free agency, has been a central force on the Panthers defense. Reddick's breakout season for the Cardinals in 2020 was apparently just the start, as the Panthers now have themselves one of the game's elite pass rushers. Chicago Bears, Khalil Mack. Mack has been the anchor of Chicago's defense since his arrival in 2018, and it doesn't look like that'll change in 2021. At 30 years of age, the former Defensive Player of the Year seems to be playing with an extra spring in his step this season. He's currently on pace to record double-digit sacks for the first time since 2018. Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow. Burrow looked very good as a rookie before his season-ending injury, but he's bounced back better than anyone could have expected. This guy is working wonders with Jamar Chase by his side. There are still flaws on that O-line, no doubt, but with a bona fide franchise QB in the fold, Cincy is finally on the right track. Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett. You could argue that after Aaron Donald, Garrett is the league's best defensive player. What you can't argue with, though, is Garrett's play so far in 2021. He's without a doubt a front-runner in the race for the sacks crown and for Defensive Player of the Year honors. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Say what you want about Mike McCarthy, but Prescott's numbers under his new head coach have been, in a word, astronomical. He is making the most out of the new playmakers around him, and his play in recent weeks have catapulted him into league MVP discussions. That $160 million contract should already feel like a bargain for Jerry Jones. Denver Broncos, Von Miller. Good thing the Broncos exercised Miller's option for 2021, because the future Hall of Famer is looking more like the Super Bowl MVP version of himself and less like a 32-year-old who missed all of 2020 with an ankle injury. Needless to say, the 8-time Pro Bowler is already setting himself up nicely for one more mega deal in 2022. Detroit Lions, TJ Hockenson. Expectations were incredibly low for the Lions coming into 2021. Sure enough, they're playing like a team that's in contention for the first overall pick. But let's not overlook the brilliance of third-year product TJ Hockenson, who continues to establish himself as one of the NFL's elite tight ends. With no playmaking wideouts around him, opposing defenses have been able to zero in on Hockenson. But the athletic tight end is still finding ways to get it done, no matter how bad his quarterback may be. Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers' desire to be traded out of Green Bay feels like a lifetime ago. For now, the fences have been mended, and number 12 is looking as good as ever. This Packers offense is just as dangerous as last year's group, and the defense, at least for now, looks good enough to carry this team deep into January. But make no mistake, this team isn't a contender without Rodgers. You saw them fall apart without him in 2017 after all. Houston Texans, Brandin Cooks. The veteran receiver has been one of the few positives in what has predictably been an awful season in Houston. Cooks should hit his sixth 1,000-yard season despite working with a lackluster group of quarterbacks. The Texans may have the worst offense in the NFL as it stands, but if they didn't have Cooks, it wouldn't even be an argument. Indianapolis Colts, Carson Wentz. Credit to Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman for impressive seasons thus far, but how could we not go with Carson Wentz here? Despite battling through injuries, Wentz continues to trot out there and lead this Indy offense. His numbers have been impressive, but it's his courage that's really winning over Colts fans at this point. In an AFC conference that's loaded with quarterbacks, Carson's not too far out of the Pro Bowl conversation, which may not seem like much until you realize who his competition is. Jacksonville Jaguars, James Robinson. There haven't been many bright spots on this Jaguars team in 2021, but James Robinson has been one of them. After unexpectedly breaking out as an undrafted free agent in 2020, the Jags running back has proven his rookie season was no fluke. There were questions about his usage early on, but Urban Meyer has been putting the ball in his hands more often as of late, and J-Rob's been making the most of his opportunities. Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Say what you will about the increased interception totals, he's still the best player in the NFL. And we don't have to explain why he'll be the Chiefs MVP by season's end. No need to take up any more of your time here. Moving on. Las Vegas Raiders, Derek Carr. Carr's numbers have been off the charts in 2021, thanks in large part to the improvements of both Hunter Renfrow and Henry Ruggs. The Raiders have enjoyed a massive turnaround on defense under new DC Gus Bradley, but this team simply isn't in the playoff hunt without Carr, who continues to run the offense at an incredibly efficient rate. Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert. Herbert has followed up the best rookie QB season ever with, just an even more impressive sophomore campaign. The main difference is that it is now a properly run team under Brandon Staley. The addition of a competent coach has allowed the calm and composed Herbert to quickly cement himself as one of the league's elite quarterbacks. Los Angeles Rams, Cooper Kupp. Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald also deserve consideration, but so far, it's hard to go against Kupp, who is quietly making a case as the NFL's best receiver. Credit Stafford for taking Sean McVay's offense to a whole new level, but a lot of that also has to do with his supporting cast, particularly Kupp. Between his route running skills and McVay's creative schemes, the Rams' wideout has been practically impossible for opposing secondaries to contain. Miami Dolphins, Emmanuel Ogbah. It's hard to give out an MVP award to a team that's been as bad as the Miami Dolphins, but we're gonna try anyway. And that brings us to edge rusher Emmanuel Ogbah. The 2016 second-rounder hasn't been Myles Garrett or TJ Watt-esque, but he's still been a bright spot on this otherwise disappointing defense that's among the league's worst against the pass and the run. Coming off a 10-sack season in 2020, Ogbah continues to show off his impressive ability wreaking havoc in the opposing team's backfield. His sack numbers may have dropped off a bit, but he's still getting the pressures and QB knockdowns, which are equally important to a defense's success. Minnesota Vikings, Danielle Hunter. A healthier Dalvin Cook would have probably made this list, but he struggled to get his body to 100%. Kirk Cousins also deserves a mention, but it's difficult to go against Hunter here. The star pass rusher missed all of 2020 recovering from neck surgery, but he's returned with a vengeance in 2021, giving Mike Zimmer that game record that was sorely missed last year. The Vikings defense was downright atrocious in 2020, but it's a borderline top 10 group with Hunter back in the mix. Good to have you back, Danielle. Signed, all Vikings fans. New England Patriots, Matt Judon. The Pats were one of the biggest disappointments in the first month of the season, and most of Bill Belichick's expensive free agent signings failed to make any real impact. Matt Judon, however, is the exception. He has been everything the Patriots could have asked for, giving them their best pass rusher since maybe Chandler Jones? Judon is a game wrecker all over the field. He seems ready to succeed all those well-respected veterans like Dante Hightower and Devin McCourty as the future leader of this New England defense. New Orleans Saints, Alvin Kamara. It's kind of funny. With no more Drew Brees and no Michael Thomas to start the season, the Saints offense couldn't be much more predictable. It's Alvin Kamara over and over again. And yet, defenses still can't seem to stop this guy. New Orleans' defense is certainly doing their part to keep this team in contention, but this offense would be near the very bottom of the barrel without Kamara's explosiveness at their disposal. New York Giants, Leonard Williams. Hard to take anyone from this Giants offense, as most of them have been injured for the better part of this season thus far. Daniel Jones was pretty good at times, but there's one clear-cut MVP for the Giants right now, and that's Leonard Williams. This dude has been owning the line of scrimmage. He remains one of the game's best run stoppers, but he's also been getting it done as a pass rusher as well. The Giants' defense has definitely regressed in 2021. But that has nothing to do with the play of Williams. We promise you that. New York Jets, Quinnen Williams. Well, what do you know? Another Williams. Quinnen pieced together a strong sophomore season in 2020 following a disappointing rookie campaign. And he's picked up right where he left off this year, becoming the key cog in Robert Saleh's vastly improved defense. The Jets' secondary has its flaws, but the front seven led by Williams has given this unit a chance. Williams already looks like he has multiple All-Pro selections ahead of him. He'll be just as vital to this team's future as Zach Wilson. Philadelphia Eagles, Darius Slay. After struggling in his first season with the Eagles, Slay seems to have finally found his footing in the city of brotherly love. The Eagles' defense has been better this season, especially against the pass, and a lot of that has to do with the major turnaround in Slay's game. His play thus far has reinserted him into the conversation for best cover corners in the league today. Pittsburgh Steelers, TJ Watt. That Pittsburgh defense looked awful without Watt in their Week 3 home loss to Cincinnati. So there's your evidence as to how much JJ's younger brother means to the Pittsburgh defense. Nobody on the offense is really doing much. The defense as a whole is underachieving, but Watt himself is at least giving Pittsburgh some hope. He'll likely be battling it out with Garrett and Donald for both the Sacks crown and Defensive Player of the Year honors by season's end. San Francisco 49ers, Deebo Samuel. The 49ers defense underachieved big time in the first quarter, and the offense has been up and down. There are a lot of players underachieving on this roster at the moment, but Deebo Samuel is not one of them. With injuries all over the offense, Deebo has stepped up and carried this unit on his back. He's among the league leaders in several key receiving stats. This could be the start of something special for the 49ers wideout. Seattle Seahawks, DK Metcalf. Wilson would have been the easy selection here, but now he's injured. So how about we go with one of his favorite targets, DK Metcalf. The freak of nature wideout was having himself another monster year before his starting quarterback went down with a finger injury. His numbers will likely take a hit with Geno Smith under center, but this man is too physically gifted to be completely held in check by opposing defenses. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady. The Bucs have been hit hard by injuries, especially on defense, but Brady's resilience, consistency, and toughness have kept the defending champions in that tier of elite teams. As long as Brady continues to operate this high-powered passing game at the level he currently has them at, the Bucs will be just fine. Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry. As usual, the Titans offense runs through the back-to-back rushing champion. It's amazing how much Henry continues to shred defenses even though opponents know what's coming every time. It's hard for non-QBs to win the MVP award these days, but Henry has already built up a strong case for it. Washington football team, Terry McLaurin. Washington's defense has horribly underperformed. The quarterback play is meh, and the running game hasn't exactly broken out just yet. But hey, when you have an elite receiver in Terry McLaurin, you don't need to have a great QB or running back. McLaurin alone gives this offense life, and it's especially amazing when you consider that he has all these mediocre quarterbacks throwing him the ball. Chase Young should challenge McLaurin for team MVP at some point this season, but at the moment, it's hard to give this defense any sort of recognition for the way they've played. Unless we're talking about the biggest disappointments of the 2021 NFL season thus far. But who do you think will win the 2021 NFL MVP award? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.